podcast. 22-minute podcast. Don't want to take up much of your time. Just gonna read some headlines and stuff.
Welcome to the 22-minute podcast. My name is Wes Sievertson. Today is Monday, January 13th. And I am not here with Mike Finley today. Nope, he's not here. So you're not going to get a hi, y'all, or whatever he always says. He says something. He just say, hey, y'all. I think that's what he says. Hey, y'all. Yeah, so that's that. He's not here. We're going to get through it. It's no big deal. I don't know. It's, it does suck not to have a co-host on a Monday specifically, I will say, just because it's nice to kind of do like a weekend check kind of thing. I actually really did not do anything this weekend. This weekend was a big not do anything weekend, especially with Mike not coming over this weekend and recording. I didn't do much at all. Kind of just relaxed a little bit. It was a busier week at work. I actually just finished up at work. That's why this episode's coming out so late. But I mean, I really don't know who listens to this. I think it's like 3 people max. So maybe it'll be kind of nice to get it later. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, we're just flying by the seat of our pants here. So no real organization to anything. I try to keep everything pretty consistent. Like even today, I didn't want to not record or release an episode today. And probably throughout the rest of the week I will as well. I mean, I might miss a day or two. I'm not gonna lie to you. We'll see how it goes. Tomorrow's gonna be a longer day for me. I actually have to. Well, okay, I don't work remote tomorrow. I usually work remote 90% of the time. But tomorrow I will actually be at a an office downtown Denver. It's got its name on a building and everything. You can see it. Okay, excuse me. All right. Well, what should we do? Should we start with some on this day? Sorry, I got a little bit of a runny nose. Or should I start with birthdays? I kind of like starting with on this day. I don't know how y'all feel about it. But yeah, I prefer that to start. So let's do that. Let's see. Hey, on this day in 1943, Adolf Hitler declares total war against the Allies. Man, if you told Americans back then that their sons and grandsons and great-grandsons would be like, I don't know, maybe Hitler actually knew some stuff, what would they say? And that's where we are. It didn't even take 100 years, man. It's crazy. I'm not looking forward to it. Just in general, like I'm not looking forward to like life. No, I'm joking. I do have a very pessimistic. I'm a viewer, or I guess I have an anxiety about what is to come. But I mean, overall, that's why I do the little podcast here. It's something. It's something to do. It's something relevant to my interests. I guess I could apply to do this. Like, it'd be nice if this paid my bills. I'm not don't go to the Patreon. Don't do that. I don't post anything there for that exact reason. I don't want any confusion. I guess I don't know if I probably said this at the very, very beginning, but the whole idea of this podcast in general is one, fun, because where else do I get to just talk, I guess, and just say the stupid things I like to say. It's so much better with Mike here, and I'm so glad that Mike, is also enthusiastic about doing it when he can, and I appreciate the time that he spends doing that for sure, because he's got real responsibilities, whereas I try to focus on this stuff, on creative stuff. That's what I value most, and that's asking a lot from other people who have like real things going on. So anyway, this podcast's not just to be fun. It was also just in general. Oh, am I looking at the wrong day? Sorry, I don't know what's going on with this stupid website. No, but in general, it was also just practice. I would like to, I guess, at some point make money. I don't know. with broadcasting, audio broadcasting, or whatever, working behind the scenes in television. I've done that a little bit already, but some sort of career that in it would be nice. And so this is really just practice and just to have like a resume of work to put on the application. So yeah, we got hey, I wrote the bed music that's jamming behind me right now. Maybe a little loud. I'll have to check that later. I don't know. If you guys do notice something like that, it's not like I'm perfect. Anywho, blah blah blah. Don't go to the Patreon. That's why I don't have anything there, because I don't want you to pay for this. That's not the point. But yeah, to be able to make money, bullshitting. Oh my gosh, that'd be the greatest. No, that is the thing. I do enjoy a sports radio station that really. It ebbs and flows. It's a sports radio station in Dallas that does a lot more talking about nothing, or at least, like I said, ebbs and flows, where sometimes it's doing a lot more talking about just whatever's going on in a joking manner, and I really enjoy that, and they really have a special life being able to do that for a living, and they actually get paid way too much, and I have my own theories on how in the world radio and TV advertising, that's all I got, advertising dollars is not real. But that's what pays their salaries too. Anyway, don't matter. What happened on this day in 2008? I mean, 2008. Why did I even say 8? I have no idea. On this day in 2022, the 28th People's Choice Award, Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts win for what? What am I even reading? Who cares? On this day in 2008, Daniel Day-Lewis did win a Golden Globe for Best Actor. And that was for There Will Be Blood, which, man, I gotta go back and watch There Will Be Blood. Oh, on this day in so 5 years later, on this day in 2013, Daniel Day-Lewis wins a Golden Globe again. 2013, that would have been Lincoln. So, yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis is doing a movie directed by his son. And if I had to guess, it's probably, excuse me, I don't know how many kids he has. I know that he did that movie like Jack and something, whatever, because it was directed by his wife, and his wife is Arthur Miller's daughter, Rebecca Miller. So yeah, like I'm guessing that this son is the son of Daniel Day-Lewis and Rebecca Miller, but that's what I've heard is he's directing a movie and blah blah blah. Yeah. Oh, so that's why he's coming out of retirement. Whatever. I'm just trying to find anything interesting on this list. Oh, look at this. 10 years ago today, the TV comedy Schitt's Creek, created by and starring Eugene Levy, his son Dan Levy, and Catherine O'Hara, premieres on CBC in Canada. Canadian Broadcast Channel, I suppose. Yeah, 10 years ago. Wow. That show took a couple years to pick up, but it really kind of dominated for a couple years, right? I tried to watch it, and apparently it does get better, and that's such a cliche thing to say. I think like Jerry Seinfeld has that in his like stand-up now, and his stand-up's never really been very cutting edge, so it's not a good observation. Everybody understands that there's so many shows where it takes a little bit for it to pick up. I'm not giving that show time. It was bad. It was just bad. A lot of sitcoms are lean heavy on the fish out of water kind of situation where, it's just someone in an environment they're not used to. Some sort of, whether it's like literal culture clash or whatever, or it's just like subtle corporate culture clash or clash or something like that. And that show just like, it didn't make sense where it was like the whole point was like, oh, they're rich people who were pushed into a property in the middle of nowhere that's like failing. Yet there's like all these young hot people around to like bounce off their jokes and stuff. It just didn't make any. It didn't feel realistic. The jokes felt very forced, and I don't know. Maybe that's a lot more comedy than I realized, and I should just get over it. All right. On this day in 2018, American actor Mark Wahlberg donates $1.5 million to the reshoot fee for the film All the Money in the World. Because of what in the world? The Time's Up movement after Revelation co-star Michelle Williams was only paid $1,000. That's weird. I thought he had to do I'm so confused by this headline. I just remember that Mark Wahlberg, paid for reshoots because I don't know what this is saying, but it was because the movie had Kevin Spacey in it, and they had to reshoot it with Christopher Plummer or something like that. I think there was Christopher Plummer. I actually haven't seen it. I bet it's pretty good. I mean, those are all decent actors. I don't know what the deal. Michelle Williams only being paid $1,000. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I'm sure she's a member of the union, and sounds more like a union issue than like a budgeting thing. Honestly, I don't know. Anyway, all right. Well, those were some things that happened on this day. Should I just go to birthdays, or should I look for some more on this days? I don't know. I'll do a couple more on this day. How about from music? Maybe there's a couple interesting ones from there. What is this? Oh, okay. On this day in 1968, Johnny Cash performs for inmates at Folsom Prison. The show is recorded for live album release. Did he only perform once, or did he perform multiple times? But anyway, I guess this, it's vague enough. I'm assuming this is the famous Folsom Prison recording that you can go jam, and that, the movie Walk the Line. Yeah, Walk the Line starts with him. Yeah, I think right before that performance. So yeah. Look at that. That's nice. Well, I'm glad I popped over here. Let's see. Maybe one or two more. What is this? 2003, rock musician Pete Townsend is arrested on suspicion. Whoa. I didn't know this. He's later cleared, but I mean, I did not know this. 2003, rock musician Pete Townsend of The Who is arrested in London on suspicion of possessing indecent images of children. It says he's cleared. I did not know this. It says he was cleared. I just heard a damn Who song on some stupid commercial the other day. I'm sorry, but if you have to be cleared, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, or you wanted to be there. That's a scary one. I don't know enough about that. That's actually something I'm completely unaware of. I'm gonna have to maybe try to look that up on Wikipedia. The only place I feel safe researching anything like that, because that's not a small thing. That's crazy. Like, for that to be a suspicion is pretty big. Okay, well, with that revelation, let's jump over to some birthdays, huh? Let's see. I'll start with on this day. I've bitched enough about my problems with the On This Day website. I need a better website for this shit. Let's see. All right. This isn't a bad one. Turning 69. Malcolm Foster, British rock bassist for the Pretenders and Simple Minds. English fella. I don't know. I hear these names, like band names, and I'm assuming that people remember these bands or like care about these bands and shit. There's a lot of bassists having birthdays today. I really don't want to read all of them because I don't think they're that relevant. That's the truth. Oh, Wayne Coyne, or Wayne, is it Coyne? Is that how you say? I don't even remember how to say his name. How old is he turning here? 64. Turning 64 today. Wayne Coyne, American singer, songwriter, guitarist, keyboardist, and theremin player for the Flaming Lips. Do you realize? It says he was born in Pittsburgh, but I know that they're like an Oklahoma City joint. There's an interesting documentary about one of the guys in the band who, I think he's still in the band, but he was, I mean, I think it's about them, but it's also about like, I think it's the drummer just having like really bad drug issues, and they ended up, kind of just sticking with him, but also just like not helping him. And I think I even remember Wayne Coyne in the documentary kind of like pushing it off as being like, hey, that's what you do here. Like, he shows up and for what he needs to show up for, and we don't ask questions. You don't ask questions around here or something. Like, I don't know, that doesn't sound healthy. But I think he got clean, whoever the band member was, and it was an interesting enough documentary, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Anyway. All right. I'm not the biggest fan the Flaming Lips, but it's nice to have them like regionally. Mike always or Mike mentioned that yeah, like I've seen a lot. I've just like seen a lot of famous people from afar. And whenever I was working at North Park, which North Park is distinct in its own way. North Park is a mall in Dallas, and this may have changed. But at least when I was working there, excuse me, 1 second. Oh gosh, when I was working there, it was like the last independently owned mall in the country, I believe. I think that's right. And so it's an interesting place for a couple reasons. It's a problematic race, Freudian slip there. So yeah, okay, hey, it's interesting because it's run by a family, and so there's like art all around, and that's commissioned or not commissioned, purchased, and or maybe it's there temporarily, whatever. But like it's curated by one of the members of the family, and like that's cool, I guess. Another thing that's cool is like the guy who really runs like the property side of it, in the sense of like what stores, what corporations are renting store space in the mall itself. Like he kind of gets to allow things that he wants. You know, it's not all completely driven by profit. It may be trying to bring something to the area or just something he personally likes. And like, that sounds kind of problematic too sometimes. But I worked at Billabong, and I don't think that a Billabong store would have made it in North Park if it wasn't for like, yeah, that guy, one of the owners, a part of the family, like wanting Billabong to be there. But anyway, so it's just kind of an interesting place. I saw Wayne Coyne walk in there with his girlfriend one day. That's pretty much it. That's the story. So, myself along with hundreds of other, maybe 1,000 other people saw Wayne Coyne walking in the mall, and of course he was dressed like a rock star. I mean, not like nothing stereotypical, just like he had a very flamboyant peacock style. Clearly he had a little bit of money, and he put that money into fashion. That's really all I mean. But yeah, so North Park is also problematic because it's a hoity-toity mall, and it's in a part of Dallas that it was a little bit higher end, but really like where it's at is very kind of like borderline. And obviously every major city in the country has like slowly over the past couple decades like developed worse economic housing issues, and with the houseless and things like that. And so they put a bus I just remember they put a bus stop. Well, actually, you know what? There was a couple incidents that seemed very racially charged. The first one, I think, was it was almost like a news release that they put in a policy of like no customers, patrons in the mall can have sagging pants. So, yeah, that was around like 2008 or 7, something like that. It's 2009, and then and that became like a racially charged issue in Dallas. Another thing was that excuse me, they put a bus stop in like right near North Park, and that was just another issue of not wanting that. And that was actually there while I worked there, and like one of the girls who worked at Billabong with me, like she took that damn bus to go to work, and it really was a classist thing when it comes down to it, as well as like a racist thing, for sure. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's cool that mall exists because it's privately owned, and it doesn't just have to be the most bland, basic shit being shoved down your throat. Like a family kind of gets to curate it, whether that is art or the stores. But if that family is rich pieces of shit, sometimes I don't really know the full story, so I don't know what names are truly associated with some of the more, malicious policies, I guess, and making them news stories and that kind of thing. Anyway, did you really want to know about that? I don't know. I guess if someone told me a story that about a mall like that in Cleveland or something, it'd be an interesting little bit of history about Cleveland. But that's me. Maybe I'm just a little nerdy about that kind of thing. Anyway, all right, we have a little over 2 minutes here. I'm just gonna bust through as many birthdays as that seem relevant. Turning 59 today. Oh wow, 59. Patrick Dempsey, Dreamboat, right? McDreamy or something, McSteamy. I don't remember. But he was in Grey's Anatomy for a long, long time, and I guess back and forth. It says the last time he was on Grey's Anatomy was 2021. He was also in Enchanted, Can't Buy Me Love from the 80s. I think that was like one of his bigger ones from his teen heartthrob era. It is weird, all these people who were teens in the 80s and whatever now reaching their 60s, because it is just weird to realize, like, hey, I was alive in the 90s. And I guess that math didn't quite add up. Like, no, they're getting to their 60s. Yeah, for sure. 20 years older than me. They'll be there as soon as I'm to 40. So I guess that's not too soon, but it's soon enough. Anywho, all right. Yeah, Patrick Dempsey having a birthday. Wasn't he in one of the more recent Screams, or am I? I think I'm mixing him up with, like, Dermot Mulroney or something. You know what I mean? They're all just brunette 20-year-olds from the 90s and shit. All right. Turning 49, Michael Pena. Love Michael Pena. He's a Scientologist, so there might be some issues, might be a little bit of problem there. But I love Michael Pena. I think he's a great actor. I love him and everything he's done. If you haven't seen Observe and Report Seth Rogen. I think it's an underrated movie. It's a very awkward movie sometimes, but I think it's underrated. All right, turning 48, Orlando Bloom. We all know Orlando Bloom, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings. Natalie Dyer turning 30. Ooh, she's a cutie. I bet she's even cuter now that it's 10 years from whenever she started in that damn show. We'll see. I'm excited for the next season of Stranger Things myself. Not too much time left. Turning 64, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Love her, obviously. She still looks fantastic. It's crazy. She looks great. Let's see. Are there any more I want to mention? We really are running out of time. Less than 10 seconds. Whatever, guys. All right. Well, I'll talk